Okay, so today we're gonna try to get the lava bubble animation. So it's really late, so I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to work on this tonight, but I'm hoping we can get something working. We'll just have to see. So I'm gonna pop up a sprite so we can make ourselves these sprites here. So, shoot. These are the 3 sprites we need. Great. Well, we're gonna do a 4x4. That's gonna be the tiny one, the bubble rising. And so maybe we call this like particle and then bubble and then pop or something, you know, so we can keep track of it. So it looks like bubble, or it looks like particle is 4 pixels. Then it looks like bubble is, oh, look at that, 4x2. It's nice, yeah, 2x2, 4x2, and then 5x3. That doesn't really seem right. 4x2, and then 5x3. I guess that makes sense, yeah. I'm curious what our yellow color is, if we've already got that kind of baked in. No, not really. We'll just pick a yellow color. Yeah, maybe something like that. It's 255, 243, 22. Yeah, that looks fine. Here, we'll save this as, or export it rather as particle PNG. I'm gonna export it straight to our folder. Oh, it is. Oopsie. Particle.png. Okay, and then we need another one that is 2x4, right? Four by 2. We're gonna say new 4x2. And it's bubble, right? Like that? Yeah. So we'll save this, or export it rather, as bubble. Bubble.png. And then we'll do a new 5x3, which is pop. And pop has got 2 there, 2 there, and one here. I think. Yeah. 5 by 3. Okay. So yeah, particle bubble pop. And then export pop.png. And then I'm just gonna double check, make sure they're exported before I delete those Aseprite files. They're not in here. Really? Did I source pics? Really? What the heck did I do wrong? I mean, I exported them. Right? You guys saw it. File. Export. They're not even in there. Particle.png. Export. Now are you in there? Now you are. I don't know what was different. But here's bubble. Export. Bubble PNG. Export. Are you in there? Yes. Okay. And then pop. I don't know why the first time exports didn't work, but that's why I checked before I deleted it. Pop PNG. And then make sure we got pop PNG. Gosh, look how tiny they are. You know, if we open up pop PNG, look how tiny it is. Because it's 5 pixels wide, 3 pixels high. Okay. Well, we've got particle, bubble, and pop. So now we can get out of here. No. Okay. So the first step is to import them as drawables. Basically, we're storing a drawable image in a variable here with love.graphics new image, and it takes a path saying source pics particle.png. Then we need the same for bubble, and we need pop. Okay, so now we've got the items as drawables. Now, since we want to have potentially multiple bubbles on the same screen at once, hints to me that we should maybe do a class for these bubbles. Lava bubbles. So in order to do a class, we need to give ourselves a new .lua file. So if we look in our source, this is not the right program. Source. We can give ourselves a class here. So if I say into source here, if I do a new file in source, call it source. No, why do you do this to me, man? New file. File, save as a lava bubble. Actually, I've been using the convention of capitals for the classes, except I need it to be a .lua. Okay. So, what three things does a class have? Well, it needs to inherit, since classes aren't native to Lua, I'm using what someone wrote to kind of put class in there. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I can just check, but I'm trying to do it without looking. But I want to say you say it's something like if lava bubble gets class brackets or something, curly braces, it inherits. It's something like that. That's not right though, but then you need the three main things: lava bubble, init, how come nothing is color-coded? It's throwing me off that nothing's color-coded. Because, yeah, it should... Gosh, this really shows how little I know. Why is it not color-coded though? Why does it do that? Bubble.lua. Nope, not what I wanted. Gosh. Really goes to show how little I freaking know about programming. So, new file. File, save as lava bubble .lua. And now it's color coded. So you need three functions in a class. It's going to be in a init function. So lava bubble colon init. And we need a update function. that gets passed in delta time. And lastly, we need a render function which draws things to the screen. And then I'm trying to remember how to inherit class. Oopsie. I want to say it's like lava bubble gets class curly braces. Something like that. It's something like that. So if I check, like let's check platform. Yeah, look, platform inherits class curly braces, which we have lava bubble inherits class curly braces. Then we have a colon init, an update with DT, and a render. So yeah, it looks like we set that up right. And the lava bubble will have an X and a Y, and that's about it. And we'll say self.x gets parameter X, self.y gets parameter Y. And then render is going to be love.graphics.draw, and it takes in a drawable, which at first is going to be a particle, and then an X, a Y, and a width and a height. And then we, at some point, need to draw, or need to update self.x gets float speed, or whatever you want to call it. It's hard to say because we need we need to store the 3 different photos in here. So how do we do that? We need to say like needs to be like a boolean called shit, I don't know. Particle spawn gets true, and then we need a bubble spawn which gets false, and then a pop spawn which also gets false. And we need to say something like you know, in here, if particle spawn, then render particle, but then we need to render different things if bubble spawn and this can also be an else if, because only one's going to be true at any given time. Else if bubble spawn y. Do we not need then? What the heck's going on? Like if I didn't have Sublime Text helping me out with some of this, I just have no idea. Like, why? If particle spawn, then this. Else if particle, if bubble spawn. What am I missing, man? Why is the else if not working here? Else if, then, else if, then. What am I missing? How come then? Bro. What the fuck is going on? I was missing a parentheses. Okay. So basically, it only renders whatever Boolean is set, and then we need to, basically, we're gonna spawn here in our parameter here, we're gonna spawn the bubble just off screen of the bottom side, and then we're gonna update self.dx gets its current dx, or no, self.x gets its current x minus 1, so it's going to be going upwards. I think we only do that if it's particle spawn though. If particle spawn, we move up by 1 every frame. Self x gets its current x minus 1. Yeah, so that should be moving it up. And then we need to find out what our lava level is, so that we know by the time we get to the top of our level, that's when we switch to bubble spawn, and then we switch to pop spawn. So I guess let's just see if we can get particle spawn working. So under our play state, we would put a instantiation of our lava bubble. We're going to have a lava bubble 1, and it's going to be a instantiation of our lava bubble class. And our lava bubble class takes in 2 arguments, an x and a y. And the x is going to be the virtual height, meaning just off the bottom side of the screen. And then the y is going to be like 10 or 15 pixels in. And then at which this bubble will have to update our lava bubble 1 with delta time, and then we'll have to render our lava bubble 1, and then this will only ever spawn 1 lava bubble, but we're just trying to see if we'll get a lava bubble to keep rising and see if it's drawing correctly. Play state 12, global lava bubble. So it doesn't know what lava bubble is. We need to, in our dependencies, require our lava bubble Lua, so it knows what the heck a lava bubble is. Then maybe it'll work. Okay, so look, our lava bubble is at the very top and it's not doing anything. And it seems like it's way too big. Right? That doesn't look 4 pixels big. And it's not moving. Let's see. Our virtual height is what? It's a big number, no? It's like 500 or something. 240. Our virtual height's 240, so why is our bubble at the top? We're rendering our lava bubble 1 at a virtual height, which should be off screen. Why is it so big? So our particle spawn will be true. And I don't know why this isn't updating anything and why it's spawning so high. Oh, well, we put it here at X. We render it at X, but we need to render it at self.x and self.y. And then we'll see if it goes up. Oh, but duh, yeah, we don't want it moving left on the X, we want it moving up on the Y. Duh. It's still too big. Yeah, we want, I did this way wrong. We want this other way around. We want it 15 pixels over, and then we want it virtual height as the Y. Yeah, there we go. It's still way too big, no? Why is it that big? It's 4 pixels. Maybe the scale. The only thing I could think of is the virtual resolution is kind of messing with that. But why would this toggle? Window height. So why is it drawing it way big? There's something wrong with our scale, but it shouldn't. It should draw it. What is our scale on our ostrich? We have 0 rotation, 1, 1. So I guess let's see if we give our lava bubble render a 0 on the rotation and then a 1 and a 1, if that would make it smaller. Nope. Why is it bigger? That thing is only 4 pixels big. Right? Particle. Get just. Source pix. Bubble. No, it's not bubble, it's particle. You are 4 pixels by 4 pixels. So why you do this to me? If I do this 0.5, you're smaller, but I shouldn't need to do that. I shouldn't need to scale you. Hold on, I just want to check. Of 2D scaling pixels bigger. I don't know why. I don't know why. Perhaps I'll die. Let me just render this crap at 2 hundo and 1 hundo. And we're not going to give it any arguments. I just want to, or you know, any additional arguments. I just want to see how big our particle is. Okay. Why is it so freaking big? That's way bigger than 4 pixels. Why is that the case? Look at this, like the pixel's that big, you know, so 4 pixels would be that big. Instead, we look like we're 4 times that size. So let's move down maybe 10 pixels. And then 0 on the rotation, 0.5 on the scale. I don't know why it would scale us weird like that. I'm just trying to see if that looks right. You know, that looks like 4 pixels now, but why would I need to scale it by half? What's going on there? What are we doing with ostrich that doesn't need, you know, or platform for that matter? We're drawing it. The only difference is we're drawing using a quad, but we don't need a quad for R. I'm a little stumped on this. Why we need to scale it down by half to be the proper size. It's here with all the other images, so I'm just very confused why we have to put in a 0.5 in order to get it to look right, but I guess it's not a big deal. It's one of those things I want to know, but if I just, you know, I'll not make progress if I just keep getting confused about that. So whatever. We're just going to scale it by half because that's about right. And then we're going to draw self.x. X is at self.x and y is at self.y. And then we need to do, well, first of all, we need to see if the speed the bubble's rising is about the right speed for -1. I think -1 is a bit too fast. Yeah, so like it needs to be at least half that speed. We're gonna do -0.25. There we go, that looks better. And then in our play state. No, in our play state. Huh. How do I do this? I need to say something like, I need to figure out where the top of our lava is, first of all. So where are we rendering our lava? Lava stand-in. It's at its X starts at virtual height minus 13. And then it's Y. What is going on here? No, 0. Hold on. Its X is 0. Yeah, leftmost side. Its Y is 13 pixels from the bottom. And then its width is the length of the screen and its height is 13. So I think we need a lava constant, lava height constant that gets 13. And then we can put lava height in our logic here just so it's a little more clear. And lava height changes depending on what wave we're in, so we want, actually, yeah, we want that not in a constant, so we'll leave it here for now. I'm gonna copy this stuff because I'm trying to see if particle spawn, then we need to check our Y position and say if our Y position is smaller than the virtual height minus our lava height, meaning our virtual height minus our lava height is the top of our lava. No, yeah, the very top of our lava. But the particle would be drawn right below it if its X is at the top of the lava, so we need to shift it up by 4 by a self dot height, which would be 4 pixels. But so if self dot, let's see that, if our self dot Y is smaller than the top, then we're just going to go ahead and particle spawn get false so that we don't render the particle. So this should have the effect of the bubble floats up, and as soon as it's sitting on top of the lava, it just disappears, hopefully. Okay. See how the 4 pixels wasn't quite right? Which is, why is this? Why is it drawing at the wrong scale? Because it should be 4 pixels, but hold on. Love 2D drawing sprite wrong scale. Great. Make sure you only scale at whole numbers. Why do I even need to freaking scale it? Is what I'm worried about. What is... Let me just see, what if we render bubble instead? And we don't give these arguments. Is bubble the wrong size? That looked like the right size. why would bubble be the right size and particle seems to be twice that size? Dude, what the fuck? What is going on? Particle, you're 4x4. It should be 2x2. That's the problem. It should be 2x2, not 4x4. That's on me. New 2x2. That's why scaling it down by 50% looked right. Because scaling it down by 2% was right. Yeah, it's just 4 pixels, not 4x4 pixels. That was my bad. So export this. We're going to overwrite our particle PNG. And then therefore, if we overwrite it like that, I'm just going to check that it's 2x2. No. What the fuck, man? Screw you. Go to trash. Hey you. New 2x2. And then that's a particle for you. Export a PNG called particle.png. Okay. Export. Now our particle PNG is 2x2, not 4x4, and now we won't have that weird scaling issue. And then we won't have, then our 4 will disappear it correctly. So we're rendering our particle at self.x, self.y with no scale, and this time the -4 is actually a -2 because it's only 2 pixels high. So now the bubble should float to the very top of the lava, then disappear. Okay, cool. So it does it. Then we need, if now once we swap particle spawn to false, we want to turn bubble spawn on. So it transitions. Then we need to say if bubble spawn, then we need a timer to know when to switch bubble spawn off. So like bubble timer gets bubble timer plus delta time, and then if bubble timer is greater than like 1/5 of a second, let's just do a 1 second just to test it. If it's greater than 1, then we need to turn off our bubble spawn, turn on our pop spawn, and then if pop spawn is true, then we need to turn on a pop spawn timer, or pop timer gets pop timer plus DT. We'll do the same thing where we're seeing if pop timer is greater than a second, and if so, then we pop spawn get false. So we need something. We'll need another thing in here. So we need to give ourselves bubble timer and pop timer. Bubble timer gets 0. Pop timer also gets 0. And then, so once it hits the top of the lava, we're turning off particle spawn, which would turn off the render for particle spawn. Then we turn on bubble spawn, which would turn on bubble spawn render, which we want to render it at self.x.self.y. And then same with pop, self.x, self.y. And then we need to say bubble spawn, bubble spawn gets false if it's greater than a second. Turn on pop spawn. And then if it's pop spawn, increase pop timer. And then if pop timer is greater than a second, turn off pop spawn. So we need something to reset all of this stuff so that we can spawn bubbles more than once. Why do you do this to me? But let's see if it just renders it correctly at this point. So it should be 1 second of bubble, 1 second of pop once the particle reaches the top of the lava. Yeah, it didn't look very pretty, but it's because if you look at, this is 2 by 2, bubble is 4 by 2, so its X needs to be moved left by 2 pixels. So once bubble spawn is true, self X gets its current X minus 2. And then once it turns to bubble, no, once it turns to pop, pop is 5 by 3, so its Y needs to be 1 more up, and its X needs to be 1 more left. So once pop spawn is true, we need our X, self.x, to be getting its current X minus 1, and then its Y to be getting its current Y minus 1. And then this is just too slow. Let's see how a 1/5 of a second treats us on the timer there. And then we'll see. We'll see if it looks okay. Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that. We want, here, we want it. Yeah, that's not right. We want, upon bubble spawn, okay, here, we want to do something where if it's smaller than the top, we want to set its Y to be equal to the top. Then we want to set it's like we want, if bubble spawn, then we only want to set this once. We want to say if bubble spawn, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Maybe we just change this in the render. We just say don't render it at X, render it at X minus 2. And then don't render it at self.x, render it at self.x minus 1 and self.y minus 1. And then we get rid of this so that it doesn't keep moving it like you saw. Now let's see. It's still off. It's off. Yeah, it's way off. The bubble is to the left and the pop is to the right. So add 1 to the bubble on the Y, and then we're gonna minus 2. I don't know if that's right. God, it looks so wrong. It looks so wrong, doesn't it? It's because they're different size. They're different sizes. But you know, this needs to be maybe a little bit longer. But if we were to look at this, Lua draws it, or Love draws it from the top left. Top left. Top left. So we need to shift. If this is where the particle would have been, you know, at 2 by 2, we need to shift our X on bubble to be left just 1. So our X on bubble needs to be over by 1. And then if that is our particle, then we need to shift our pop to be, it's not perfect, but we need to shift it 1 or 2 pixels to the left and then 1 pixel up. So 1 or 2 to the left, let's say 2 to the left and 1 up. And then, does that look better for the bubble pop? That looked right, didn't it? It looked pretty good. It might need to be a little bit faster, but something about it doesn't look quite right. I think it needs to be a little bit faster, so go back to 0.2. Might be a bit faster though. That looks pretty good. It doesn't look pixel perfect though. Let me see how fast. Yeah, it goes pretty fast actually. So let's just do 0.1. And it needs to go a little slower on the rise. Why not? That's too slow. Yeah, let's do 0.2. And then that's so cool. Okay. So we need something that says instead of instantiating lava bubble only once, we need to say if lava bubble dot popped or something, like we need to set a timer for it to keep spawning and keep instantiating. I don't know how to do this. But I think we can say I think we can give us a field called popped that we set to true, a Boolean, field or method, these are called, I'm pretty sure, when you do the dot, at least in this language. So we're going to say a popped Boolean field, we initialize to false, and then once this hits, then our self dot popped pooped. Our self dot popped gets true, signaling that we have in fact popped. And then in our play state, we need to do something in the update function. No. We need another one of these. We need another, we need to say something like, we need to say like if lava bubble 1 dot popped, then we need to reinstantiate lava bubble 1 at the bottom of the screen. And every time would that work? Let me just see if that should spawn multiple bubbles, if that's working like my brain thinks it will. Yeah. Cool. So we don't want it to just spawn willy-nilly like that, back to back. We want to say we want to give we want to, in our lava bubble instantiation, in our lava bubble, so whenever we set particle spawn to true, so we should actually set this to false right off the bat, but then we can update this saying after a random amount of time set particle spawn to true, at which point it'll spawn a bubble. And then once it's popped, it'll wait another random amount of time. So we need to do, how do you do random in love? How do you do random? You need a random seed, which I'm trying to remember. I know in our, it's like math.random seed gets OS time, something like that. Let me look at, oh great. I don't want to do it here, I want to do it in a new window. So I want to say love 2D random seed. Math.random. So number gets math.random. Okay. And then we would set this in our main function. I'm pretty sure. Math.random seed OS time. That way it's a different timing. Every time we load the game, it'll be slightly different. But we need to say math, or we need to say love.math.random. And then we need a minimum and a maximum. Okay, so we can say in between 1 second and 5 seconds or 6 seconds. Let's go wild. 8. 1 second and 8 seconds. So the fastest it can do is 1 second. Nah. Fastest it can do is 3 seconds together. Longest it can do is 9 seconds apart. And then we need to say, we need to give it, we need to, we need the condition here to say if, yeah, we need to say, we need a counter gets counter plus delta time if counter greater than the random spawn, then so we're going to say we're updating random spawn's a variable that gets a number in between 3 and 9. We're going to increment counter, and once our counter gets bigger than our random spawn number, then we're going to trigger our particle spawn, and then we're going to reset. No, we don't want to reset our random spawn or our counter. See, the problem is this. I think this needs to be up here. So each instantiation has its own random spawn. Then we're gonna increment counter. If our counter is bigger than our object self random spawn, we're gonna spawn the particle, and then I don't know. Lava bubble, Lua 20. If counter gets counter plus DT, if counter is greater than self.random spawn. So 9 seconds should be the longest we should wait to see a bubble, and 3 seconds is the fastest. I think I like that, but part of me feels like this is wrong. Part of me feels like at any given time in our play state, we need to set our popped to false again, I think. Well, No, every time we instantiate one, we set our bubble to false, right? Or popped. Self-popped to false. Okay. I think that's okay. I kind of think this should be a little more seldom like the original seems to be. So like the soonest it can spawn is 4 seconds, the longest it'll spawn is 11 seconds. And that's, you know, if you look at our bubbles down here, there's one on the left and one on the right. So we can do the same thing where, let me see if I'm happy with the location of that bubble. We should probably push it a little to the right. Yeah, we should push it a little to the right. Maybe twice as far to the right. So instead of 15, we're going to give us 30. And for just sake of seeing it sooner, I'm going to say, so let's say 4 and 11. But for now, we want it 1 and 2. So we can see if it's in the right position fairly fast. I want it still more to the right. So, oh well, here. We gotta instantiate it in the right spot first, and then re-instantiate it in the same spot. Yeah, that's a little too far. So maybe, I don't know, 22. Does 22 look okay? Yeah, I like that. So 22 is where we spawn our bubble 1. And then we need bubble 2. And this is why we put it in a class, so that we can easily make another one. Bubble 2. Except this one is not at 22. It's going to be at virtual width minus some. I want to see, it looks like it's about, ooh, oh wow, okay, so I see the X position is random too, at least on the left one. There's 2, it alternates. Oh, it alternates on both. So look, I'll put my mouse over one of the bubble spawn points, right? It goes along this line. Now the next time it spawns, it goes over there. Next time it spawns, it goes over here again. Come on. But does it really alternate, or is it random? It got 1 there, and then 1 to the right. Yep, and then 1 to the left again. No, it is random. I didn't even realize that. Sometimes it spawns on the left, sometimes it spawns on the right. So, and then same with the left one. So there's a random element here. You know, we need to say if lava bubble 1 is popped, then we need to, you know, we need to say we need to give it a random number, you know, math.random. There's a ternary operator we can do instead. Can't we? No, doesn't really help us here. Basically, instead of hard coding this to 22, we want this to be left bubble x1, or left bubble, what do we want to say? We want to spawn it at one of two spawn points. So left spawn point, and we want to say left spawn point gets a random number, math.random, a random number between, and it's not a number between here. So look, we'll say, I think we can use the ternary operator here. So like left spawn point is gonna get a random number between 1 and 2, and then if left spawn point is equal to 1 and or 2, is that how you do the ternary? Oh, fuck, hold on. I think it'd be cool to use the ternary operator in here. Lua ternary. If x is and or, yeah, x is C and B or C. X. But why is the assignment here? Maybe I'm not smart enough to use the ternary operator just yet here. But what do we, you know, if left spawn point is 1, is equal to 1, then we're going to actually set it to be equal to. See, and it's like, instead of math.random, is there a choose function, like choose one of the two values? Because we don't need the random function, we just need one or the other random value. So like love 2D, choose two values. Lowest. Okay, so look, if we have a list, if we have a table, we can do a love.math random and then do a parentheses. Well, hold on. We can say, we give it the table, we give it the brackets of an index, and we say, in that index, I want you to love.math.random the list, number list. So if you do a number list, number table, it'll pick table. Let's see this. If we have left spawn point gets a table of either 22, so like the left one is, say, let's say it's 10, 22. So it's either going to be 10 or 22. Then we say left spawn point brackets, or array notation, I don't know what you would call. We array notation at the index of love.math.random. Actually, it's not love.math.random, it's just math.random. Math.random, and then the argument is actually a number and this table. And then that will actually take, I mean, according to this, once you have the brackets, yeah, random brackets, and then, right, oh yeah, we don't need this bracket because that's just print. So we're gonna say we're setting our spawn point to be a random value in our I don't know if that'll work. I guess let's try it. Let's see if it, I guess instead of 10 and 22, to make it a little more obvious, we can do 5 and 22 and really see if it does it differently. Nope. Place state 13. Yeah, we don't want lava bubble 2 just yet. And we need, I don't know if we can declare a table right here in the middle of our update function, or if we need it in the init. But we'll see if Lua yells at us. Equals expected near lava bubble 1. 42. Let me just see. That looks like it'll, oopsie. Number expected got table, yeah. And it doesn't like that? 42. So this isn't quite working how I thought it might. This guy says this works, but I've never seen this number notation. Love 2D. I like the idea of this, but it's not quite working. Let me see if love 2D math.random gives me any help on what the arguments can be. See, we don't want, I mean, we could do it the random range, but I want it to be like the original where it's like there's two possible values for it. if I leave that out? Love 2D, pick item from array. How do I get one of random index from an array in Love 2D? Look at, they say it. They say the same thing. Take it. My code looks like this. Maybe I do have to use love.math. So random. No, it doesn't like that. Doesn't like that. Math.random, and what we want random is a value in our list like this. That's close. Like, why does it say it wants that? Because it doesn't want that. It's near. It's just missing a. We need to assign it into something. So we need to assign. Can we do that? We assign a random value from left spawn point into spawn point and then draw it at that value. Left spawn point, so it needs the array, the location of the array. So there's one bubble there. Oh, that's it. Look at spawn one there, and then randomly maybe spawn the other one. No, it's just spawning the same one. The first time it did it, oh, it really is. It just randomly happened to do it like five times. So let's scoot it over just a bit. Yeah, like we had 11 and 22. So what we had to do there was we say, hey, of this array of left spawn points, I want you to, in that array, that's where the bracket notation comes in that array, give me a math.random, and in that math.random function, we say £, table of our left spawn point, and the £, of our table will be the values of an array, and the math.random will pick a random value of those. And then we're saying, you know, this table's getting 2 values, but then here we're moving one of those values into that point, and then we're rendering it at that X. So if we want to do our lava bubble 2, then we want to draw it at, say, the first time we draw it, it's going to be at maybe -11. Kind of swap them. First time it draws lava bubble 2, only 11 from the right side. And then we want to say the same thing here. If our lava bubble 2 popped, then right spawn point gets an array of 2 values, one of which is virtual width minus 11, and the other value is virtual width minus 22. Let me just see if in the original it looks like they're about the same distant apart. Yeah, so it looks like one's close to the platform and one's close to the edge of the screen. That one's actually not so far. They're a little closer than I thought. I mean, not that the bubble needs to be right in the freaking same spot as the original, you know, whatever. We'll just see if it looks okay and then we'll call it good. Those 2 values. And then we want to say right spawn point is now getting assigned a right spawn point random value. So we say the array math.random, and what we're passing into math.random is the values of our right spawn point array, and then we're gonna instantiate a new bubble, because remember, this is if bubbles popped. Yeah, so we're assigning, we're assigning Lava Bubble 2 to be a new instantiation of a lava bubble object, and we're putting it at this random right spawn point, and its Y position is virtual height. Those are the 2 parameters it needs. And then if Lava Bubble 2 is popped, it'll do that, and then once it instantiates this, Lava Bubble 2 will become unpopped, because in our init right here we have dot popped gets false. So now we need to do 2 more things, which is update our second lava bubble, and then we also need to render our second lava bubble, and then we'll make sure our lava bubble times are back to the 4 seconds to 11 seconds, and then we'll see if it's looking like it's functioning right. So we're looking for, we want math random seed, because right now the random seed is spawning them at the same exact times, but we want them to be offset. So how do we do that? So what that's telling me, I guess, is that both of the random spawn we did seed by OS time. How do we offset this? It's like, if we get a different random seed for every instantiation of Lava Bubble, then every time we use math.random, it should be different? Maybe. Just for trying to figure out how to depair those two from spawning at the exact same time. I'm not really sure. What's happening? They just stopped. They just got busted and then stopped. Shoot. Oh, fuck. You were right there. We just need it to be... We just need to instantiate them on a different, scale here. So, yeah, instead of instantiating them right away, well, no, because, hold on. So yeah, it's like they get instantiated right away, first frame, both of them, and then both of them on the same frame get a random spawn, which, since the math.random is the same seed, it's the same randomness every time. Different randomness, same randomness compared to one another, but different randomness every time. So we need to do something where instead of instantiating them right away, we do something different. Like we say, it's like we need another, another argument. Which is a random seed. And the self.seed gets assigned to math.random seed. No, how do you... No, if the seed passing in... How do we do this? If seed is the parameter we're passing in, then we need to say... here, we... I think the way this works is math.random will spit out a pseudorandom number given a certain seed. So we need to pass in different seeds for each instantiation of lava bubbles. So we need to say something like math.seed. No, how do we change the seed? How do we change random seed? Love 2D change random seed. Set random seed. So we need to say set random seed low to high. So we need math dot set random seed. No, I guess it needs love dot math dot set random. No, it doesn't have it. It doesn't have This function is not supported in earlier functions. It's so close, it's so close. This is saying it's love.setRandomSeed, but it doesn't seem to be recognizing that, but maybe it's still okay. You know, it did the autofill, I mean. So if the seed low, seed high, because it needs, no, you can just do it with one. So we're just gonna pass in the seed here. See if it likes that. And then since we passed in 2 different numbers as the seed, they should hopefully be different randoms. And then spawn slightly differently. Nope. Great. Set random seed, number expected got nil. It said bad argument 2, so it recognized set random seed even though the autocomplete didn't do it, but it needed a low and a high. So seed low, seed high, and then we just need to pass the same stuff. And then we need to instantiate. Oh, you know what? Yeah, hold on. It needs to say. It's because we didn't pass it in here on the second. But if we do like 20 and 30, and then we do 1 to 10 or something, and then we try to do the same right here where we go like 20 and 30 and then 1 and 10. Let's see, I'm just trying to get them offset. I don't want the bubbles coming on the same exact second, but they are. I don't know why. I mean, I think I know why, but oh, why does it do that? Why does it stop working like that? Okay, the random seed isn't working. But that's the reason why they're spawning at the same time. It's like I need to not instantiate these right away. It's like I need to do it in here in the update. And I can say, I don't want another counter, but I guess I do. Okay, what do we want to call this? We want to just say bubble offset or something. Bubble timer offset gets 0. Now every frame we're gonna set our bubble timer offset to get bigger. No, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. Because right here we have them spawning upon a pop, but they can only pop if they were instantiated, but they were instantiated at the same time, so I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to do, and I don't want to do this timer thing because then, since it's in the update function, it'll happen every second, and then we're going to have multiple bubbles on at once. What do we do, y'all? I don't want to instantiate them at the same time. So it's like... Okay, it's got to be in here somewhere. So we no longer want this. We want this to give me a different number. Yeah, it's like we just need a different seed. But even if we seed it with OS time, it's the very first frame. It's still the same frame. What do we do? What do we do? Why is this so hard for me to think? Because this is what we want our random spawn to be different. Even though it's like, even if it was offset by 1 delta time, it would give us a different random spawn. So it's like, we just need to offset it so it's not the same exact frame. But how do we do that? It's like we just need an option. We'll call it seed, and we'll say if seed is equal to 1, then you're gonna spawn a random number 4 to 11, and else, if seed is not 1, you're just gonna random spawn a different random number, and that number is 5 to 10. Would that work? And then we just need to give one of them 1 and one of them not 1 in our instantiations here. So we say, hey, bubble 1, you get 1, bubble 2, you get 0. So a different random seed. And then same deal. Bubble 1, you get 1, bubble 2, you get 0. Now do the bubble spawn differently. You son of a bitch. And then I don't get why it messes up like that. Oh lordy. I don't know. It's so close. It's so close, I just don't get why it's not quite there. And why it messes up. Why does it mess up? If we take out stupid seed stuff, and then we take out our stupid seed stuff, does it mess up rendering them? Well, lava bubble 18. What's going on? What's going on? In update function, you're trying to compare nil with a... Oh, a random spawn. We just deleted our random spawn. I want to see if these bubbles are messing up like they were just a second ago with the render. Those seem to be working okay. So I don't know why the seed was kind of messing with those rendering. Oh. See, look at that. Why does it do that? I have a feeling we're clogging up. I want to say like we're not deleting any of those instantiations of class objects or something. And then it's just getting confused. But I don't know. Love 2D, delete instantiations. Oh God, I'm not gonna figure this out tonight. I don't like this. I don't like that it fucks up there. So it's like, because I would think that instantiating an object with the same name would just overwrite the object that was there, but I have no idea. So like I think all these bubble objects are just existing, and then we spawn more, and then we spawn more, and then we spawn more, and we spawn more. And then it's trying to keep track of all of these variables for each of those spawn instantiations. So it's like we need to we need to do this. We need to remove. Gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna figure this out tonight. I gotta do this later. I'm just like not gonna figure this out right now. But I think I need to do something like that. I need to set a table of bubbles, and then once they're popped, I need to remove them from the tables and then only update the tables that are existing. Because I'm just allocating a bunch of space and a bunch of bubbles and then never deleting them. Even though I'm giving them the same name, I feel like they're still in memory somehow, but I don't know. That's the only way I think The only idea I have that's making that render error. So I don't know. Well, you know, we almost got it. We got, you know, we got bubbles floating and whatnot, so it wasn't a complete fail. We're gonna add everything to the staging area and commit with a message saying started to add lava bubbles, but need to delete instances of each bubble upon pop. Okay. And it says we added 4 files, 3 pictures, and our lava bubble class, which is true. Then we'll get pushed to our origin main, and we'll just call it a night. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll hopefully figure that out tomorrow. I don't know, but we'll try. All right, thanks for tuning in.